I'm gonna say that this is what I think contentment, biblical contentment is this. It's living at the intersection of peace and passion. Living at the intersection of peace and passion. Contentment is not just peace. Because if you have peace with no passion, you have complacency. Well, I'm just at peace. And I talk to folks every once in a while who are just a little too at peace for my liking, to be honest with you. Okay, I mean, they've been waiting on God for like 17 years. You know what I'm saying? At some point, it's like, come on now. God's waiting on you. Like, you got to go ahead and take a step. Like, get out, get moving. Like, and I think you have to have a little self-awareness around, is it potentially a temptation for you to slide into apathy? Is it a temptation to slide into laziness? Is that a temptation? Because there's some in this room who are the other side, which is they're full of passion. Okay, so I'm, right, peace here. And they're so full of passion, but if you have passion with no peace, okay, you're compulsive. This person is complacent. If you only have this and know this is complacency, this is compulsion. The person with passion, but they can't rest. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want for anything. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. There are some people who are passionate, they have no peace, they're compulsive, so even to lay down in the green pasture, they'd be twitching. And they're not even allergic to grass. They're allergic to rest. They think, oh man, I just need some time at the beach. People have nervous breakdowns in the sand. They do. You understand? Go to the beach. Next time you go to the beach, go and watch and look how many people are answering emails. Working on it. Why? Because you don't have it in tandem. So what we're talking about, biblical contentment, not getting caught into the trap of destination addiction, doesn't mean that I have no vision for the future. Because peace is what will cause me to sit down and rest, to be able to sit down beside still waters, to be able to celebrate the win, okay? Of course it could have been better. Of course it could have been bigger, could have been more excellent. We've all had the thing where once the event was over, you had 2 or 3 good ideas on your drive home. You're like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I think? Okay, at some point, if you're gonna have any contentment and peace, you gotta be able to sit yourself down and to go, you know what, job well done. I worked my tail off. I thought everything I thought to think. I pulled the team together. I worked my heart out. I did the very best I could. Someday my best is gonna be a little better than it is today because I'm gonna pursue, development and improvement, but today this was the best I had and is good enough for today. To be able to do that. Now, that's peace, not complacency, because what gets me back up is passion. And the passion, when it's around the gifts God's given me, the stuff he's made me to do well, and the people that he's called me to serve, will turn into passion, which then will keep me from laying beside the still waters a little too long. So now I get up and it will get me back up and get me focused on what's next. And yet we do need to get better. We do need to level up. We do need to step up. We do need to look at what we did, not in a self-deprecating, I stink kind of way, but in a, you know what, this can get better. It needs to get better because we're gifted to do it and the people we're called to matter. So to be able to sit in that tension. I was thinking about this. And I came up with this kind of metaphor, whatever. So I was thinking, okay, imagine you're a soccer player. You played soccer growing up, you were really good. You excelled. And you got a scholarship, and maybe you played professional soccer. And you get done, and you start out, you're like, I want to coach soccer. So I love soccer, and I love people. And so you start coaching 3rd grade soccer. A hush goes over because some people are like, just the thought, they're like, 3rd grade soccer sounds like hell. Okay. But to this person, they love coaching 3rd grade soccer. It's just awesome. They love teaching those skills, those young ones. And they're out there and they're working with the families, and it's just really fulfilling, man. God's given them a passion for this. And yet there's a little something going on inside them because people are like, hey man, when are you gonna quit coaching 3rd grade? Because you've got it in you, you could be a pro coach. And maybe there's something in you who's like, I don't really wanna be a pro coach. I don't really want to. Like, I don't wanna deal with the divas. I don't want people tweeting about me. I don't want people yelling at my kids when we were giving up goals. I just really I'm really fulfilled here. I really like this. I enjoy this. And yet there's an inner conflict because you're like, but where does this put me in the social food chain? Where does this put me in terms of validation? Like, do I want to show up at my 20th high school reunion? They're like, what are you up to? They're like, I'm coaching 3rd grade soccer. Really? I mean, you were like a pro, right? Yeah, I know. I just really love it. You know, the Bumblebees, we've been undefeated every year. It's just awesome. If you're not careful, if we only think of this one-sided, you'll get a lot of speeches where people will tell you that the only way you can validate yourself is by going to the top of the mountain. Okay, now here's what I'm gonna tell you. You gotta pray this. Because I have to ask myself, what's pulling me to the future? If I feel compelled that I need to coach pro soccer for my security, because my family's putting pressure on me and my environment's putting pressure on me, and frankly, I don't feel like I'm worth much if I'm only doing this. Even though I feel super fulfilled in doing this work, for some reason, I'm feeling this outside pressure. Listen, you gotta pray that to the ground. You gotta wrestle that to the ground. You gotta allow the Holy Spirit to give you a security that's going, no, I'm gonna give you the security to actually see and value the work I've given you to do. This is what I've called you to, these people to do this work. And if this is what God has designed you to do, and it brings you great fulfillment, then don't ever let anybody talk down to you about it's not valuable enough. Why? Because you think I'm not coaching pro? Give me a break. Peace and passion. I feel really passionate about this work, and I'm at peace with myself. Yeah. Now, there's somebody else coaching 3rd grade soccer, and frankly, they have a passion. They really want to coach pro. But I'm terrified because what if I embarrass myself? What if I try? For them, it's not fulfillment to stay with 3rd grade soccer. It's playing it safe to play 3rd grade soccer because then I don't look like I tried to get there. What if I can't get there? And yet there's something pulling you in that direction. And you don't need to be embarrassed or ashamed of your ambition. There's something driving you that way. What do? You pray about it, okay? I'm not here to tell you whether to coach 3rd grade soccer or not. I don't care what you coach. What I want to encourage you to do is whatever thing you're doing, whether I'm staying put right here and pouring into something that other people would see as underachieving, but for some reason God's given me a passion for it and I'm fulfilled in it, that you would stay there with all the confidence in the world. But if God has called you to this over here, you better go in that direction and do it with the confidence that even if I shoot my shot or I swing for the fence and I fall on my face, that I'm secure in who I am. So now I'm gonna aim for this thing, I'm gonna go for it. What I've noticed is that God does tend to lead people in general. He leads them in a direction that is in line with their gifts. What do? I find my security right here. I find my peace right here. But then you have to really start going, okay, Lord, where have you gifted me? And what passion have you directed me to, and what people have you called me to?